Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Grading Andrew Wiggins, other newcomers in Miami Heat debut. All season long, this Miami Heat team has proved to consistently be inconsistent. That's a notion that remained the same with Jimmy Butler on the roster, and it hasn't changed with him off of it. The Boston Celtics walked into the Casillas Center and ran the Heat off the floor, 103-85. They've now won 9 of their last 11 matchups against Miami. And despite the absence of Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday, Boston was still led by the superstar play of Jason Tatum. He took the game over in the third quarter and finished with a game-high 33 points and 8 rebounds on 50% shooting. The Celtics also got strong outings from their frontcourt duo of Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. As for the Heat, their abysmal shooting put them in a hole that they couldn't get out of. It's never easy incorporating new pieces mid-season, but playing the reigning NBA champions makes it that much more challenging. Let's give out some early grades for the performances of Miami's newcomers in their debuts. Over the years, Andrew Wiggins has built a winning reputation as an impactful two-way talent. His first game as a member of the Heat didn't show much of that. There were glimpses of his length and versatility on the defensive end. He came down with 5 rebounds and 5 assists to go along with 2 stocks. However, the Heat were outscored by 22 points in his 30 minutes as the new starting small forward. His shooting struggles were a problem for Miami all night, as they got limited production out of Wiggins in that department. He put together just 11 points on a rough 3 of 12 shooting overall. It's far too early to come to any judgment for the Heat's newest core piece. But they are going to need more offensively from the former All-Star, who has averaged nearly 18 points per game this season. In what may be viewed as somewhat of a surprise, Davion Mitchell received the start tonight in the Heat's backcourt, benching the likes of Duncan Robinson. And the result wasn't the prettiest. Mitchell came into the game shooting 36% from three-point range, which is right at the league average. Unfortunately, he looked like a below-average shooter in his debut. He showed an inability to spread the floor and hit open outside looks, finishing with just 4 points on 2 of 8 from the field. The encouraging sign was his point-of-attack defense on the perimeter. It was a need for the team for quite some time, and Mitchell's energy on that end looked refreshing. Hopefully his offensive limitations can eventually be balanced out with Herro's shot-making, who was unavailable versus Boston due to a stomach illness. The shakiest of all the new additions on Monday night was Kyle Anderson. He received playing time in place of Haywood Highsmith, and coach Erik Spoelstra ultimately may have regretted that decision. Anderson looked virtually unplayable on the court. He seemed both rusty and a step slower, living up to his slow MO nickname, than his opponent in his 10 limited minutes. The veteran role player put up 0 points on 0 of 5 shooting. He was unable to record a single block or steal, and the Heat were outscored by 14 points in his minutes. It could be questionable to give Anderson a consistent role moving forward. Jason Tatum gives cold response when asked what it means for Luka Doncic to be a Laker. Jason Tatum loved the Los Angeles Lakers growing up as he idolized Kobe Bryant, but he doesn't care too much about the franchise anymore. In his post-game press conference after the Boston Celtics' 103-85 win over the Miami Heat on Monday, Tatum was asked what it would mean for kids to watch a star like Luka Doncic on the Lakers, the way he saw Bryant. "I don't know, I know a lot of kids watch the Celtics play," Tatum said. When the reporter stated it was a big change for the NBA, Tatum admitted it was, but added he is no longer that kid who used to watch the Lakers. "Yeah, that was a big trade and a big change," Tatum replied. "But I'm not a little kid anymore, so I don't really watch the Lakers play. I'm a big Celtics fan." The initial question did appear to strike a nerve with Tatum. It was a bit of an odd thing to ask as well, and it's not surprising that the Celtics star had a cold response to it. Tatum is only focused on himself and the Celtics, and they have rebounded after a rough stretch. They went 6-6 during a 12-game stretch in January and appeared to have lost their way a bit. The Celtics needed to get their act together to avoid slipping down the standings and have done just that. They have won 6 of their last 7 games now after beating the Heat and have improved to 38-16 on the season. Tatum was the one who led the way against the Heat with 33 points, 13-26 FG, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. The 5-time All-Star scored 20 of those 33 in the third quarter to put the Heat away for good on a night when the Celtics were without Jaylen Brown and Jrue Holiday. They needed their superstar to step up, and he did so. As for Doncic, he made his much-awaited debut for the Lakers on Monday against the Utah Jazz. The Slovenian recorded 14 points, 5-14 FG, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists in what was his first game in over a month after he suffered a calf injury on Christmas. It will take a bit of time for Doncic to get up to speed, and we might see him at his best when the Lakers take on the Celtics on March 8. Miami Heat made bold trade offer to Phoenix Suns for Kevin Durant. Following Luka Doncic's trade to the Los Angeles Lakers, suddenly everything seemed possible and every player felt available. Someone who found his name in the headlines unexpectedly was Kevin Durant. The Golden State Warriors were believed to be interested in a reunion with Durant, and while he was not keen on a return to the Bay Area, there were other teams who seemingly tried their luck as well. One of them was the Miami Heat. In fact, some rumors cropped up which suggested that Durant would be open to the idea of playing there. Of course, this was not the first time that the Heat were linked with Durant. They were believed to be one of the teams in the running before his move to the Warriors, and once again, when he moved to the Brooklyn Nets. While speaking to NBA on ESPN, Shams Charania shared that the Heat potentially had a window to go after Durant. They offered Jimmy Butler and Josh Richardson, which was not enough to get a deal done. The Suns were interested in trading for Butler this summer but could not engineer a suitable trade. Durant stayed put in Phoenix. Butler did end up leaving Miami though and joined the Warriors, where he was handed a big money 2-year extension and made a winning start to life in the Bay Area against one of his former teams, the Chicago Bulls. As for the Heat, considering the circumstance that they had found themselves in, they would be happy with the return that they got out of the Butler trade as well. The Heat received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, P.J. Tucker, and a 2025 first-round pick, protected, Warriors. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Kevin Durant? Leave your opinion in the comments.